Now look, I already sit here and told y'all, I ain't the one to sit here and judge nobody. I'm not the one to sit here and put nobody in heaven or hell. All I'm sitting here doing is reporting the news. And with that being said, did y'all catch the Kirk Franklin and Tammy interview that happened on Tamron Hall? Well, if you didn't, let me catch you up to speed. Also, let's sit here and talk about what Kerrion Franklin's mother had to say. Sharon Ewing. We're going to get into it. Roll that beautiful bean footage. I got a lot to talk about because I got somewhere to be. All right, y'all. So, look, there's a whole lot going on today, okay? Everybody done got their stimulus, okay? People sitting here going around shooting folks. It's just a lot going on. We got confessional and interviews sitting here happening down at the Tamron Hall show. So, look, there was an interview that took place on the Tamron Hall show. Kirk Franklin finally breaks his silence on national daytime TV, that is, with his beautiful wife, Tammy. And, I thought the interview was great. However, there are a couple of things I wanted to sit here and address. Now, in my previous video, if you've been following the story about, their son Kerrion, who was about to turn 33, this grown-ass man basically went and posted a conversation of his dad, basically, doing what a lot of black fathers, to me, I feel like, as far as having a conversation with their child personally, one-on-one. And basically, Kerrion recorded the conversation of his father, Kirk, without the knowledge of Kirk or the consent. With that being said, it got blasted all over social media and it went viral. Now, to catch you back up to speed, Kirk issued an apology to the gospel church community, people, whoever, even though I felt like the apology wasn't necessary. And with that being said, after that happened, I thought it was going to all just be over with. Well, come to find out, due to an already previously engagement on the Tamron Hall show, who, just so happened to be featuring gospel artists on this particular day, Wednesday, Kirk decided to go ahead and just get everything out in the open since he was going to already be on television. So the actual interview wasn't because he was doing the interview for the heck of it. It was because of the fact that he was doing the interview because of the fact that he was already scheduled to be on television. So let's first clear that up. He didn't come on television just to do the interview solely. He was already scheduled to go on Tamron Hall today. And that's just what it was. So with that being said, a couple of things that I did take note of. I did feel like that Kirk, even though we have all stood up for you in the black community, I did feel like that your ass tap danced around all of them questions that Tamron Hall asked you. And I feel like that, once again, it's a private family matter. You definitely have the right to sit here and do so, no doubt about it. But a couple of things that I did take note of, and let me just go and sit here and pull out my note list, my little note thing a little quick here. So basically, this son, Kerrion, is the son of Sharon Ewing and Kirk, who was the first child, that Kirk had, okay? And then Kirk also has a daughter, that Tammy is biologically linked to, which is his bonus daughter, who he practically calls a daughter. But that's beside the point. The thing that we're talking about is Kerrion. So Kerrion basically, is Kirk's child. And, Kirk decided to go down to Tamron Hall and just pretty much put it out there on the table. So the things that I noticed first to sit here and start off with, he stated that the person that was laughing in the audio, and for those of you that may not, as far as have seen the video, go back and look at my previous video. I'll post a link down in my comments somewhere so that way you can, get a feel and a gist of what I'm talking about. But the audio that was, taped, there was somebody laughing like a woman on the background. No tea, no shade. I thought it was a female. But come to find out, it was Kirk's best friend. Long-time best friend, that is. And so as a result of that, Kirk's best friend, I guess because of the fact that in the interview on Tamron Hall today, Tammy had stated, Kirk's wife, that normally whenever a conversation takes place between Kirk and his son Kerrion, that somebody has to be on the phone to kind of be the mediator because things tends to get heated. Okay? Now, that was the first thing. The second thing that I noticed is that when Tamron Hall asked Kirk about the video that Kerrion made in regards to allegations against parental abuse. You know, Kirk, it seemed like that he wasn't looking directly at the camera. He didn't really know what to say. He tap danced around it. But the thing that got me the most is that he stated that he's confident there hasn't been any physical abuse. Now, the question was directed, first of all, from Tamron to Kirk, that asked Kirk, are the allegations basically true that, you know, Kerrion is stating that there was physical abuse in the household growing up with Kerrion? And Kirk stated at the end, once he had done tap danced around the question, that he's confident that there hasn't been any physical abuse. But if you saw the interview, the way he went about it, he said it as if he wasn't for certain. How you gonna not be for certain whether there was physical abuse towards your child by yourself or not? It's either a yes or no question. I'm gonna need for somebody to help me with that, because maybe it was just me that caught on to that. But I didn't understand. If somebody asks me a question, I'm going to let you know, no, there was no physical abuse in the household. I'm not going to tap dance around the question and say, well, you know, I don't recall, I don't sit here, ever sit here in my mind can make up of a time there was physical abuse. Either there was physical abuse or either it was not, Kirk. Which one is it? Now, we done sit here and stood up for you in the gospel community, okay? We done sit here and took you back. We done sit here and let you know, we done sit here and let the people know that Melanie's from heaven. Melanie's from heaven ain't going nowhere, okay? We ain't canceling no one. So I'm gonna need for you to sit here and get some PR training and learn how to answer these questions directly, so you don't be on TV, national TV that is, looking guilty as hell, okay? Because that's what it was giving me, okay? And then the fact, on top of that, you know, Tamron asked him, do you respect your child? And, you know, Kirk stated that he does respect his child. Now, this is a statement that I did agree with. Kirk stated that to answer Tamron's question, I do respect my child, but I'm not going to be my child's equal, meaning that I'm going to be my child's father, not his friend. That I do agree with, because we do see that in a lot of people's dynamic relationships between mother and son, father and child, however the case may be. Sometimes you can't always be your child's friend. Even when they're grown as hell, you still can't be your child's friend. You gotta let them know who the parent. With that being said, I did hear from both sides, from Sean Ewan, who is Kerrion's mother, and Kirk, that, you know, there has been long, extensive history of, you know, Kerrion dealing with issues within the family. And I've also heard from both sides in interviews that, you know, they have been seeking counseling for a long time. Now, let me sit here and tell you something, first of all, about counseling. Counseling don't always solve everything. I know people say counseling, mental health, and all of that, and it's quite true. People do in the black community do hide mental health underneath the rug. With that being said, though, I don't feel like that counseling is always the issue, because in order for counseling to be effective, the people that are in counseling has to learn how to communicate effectively, and they both have to be willing to make change. If that's not the case, there's no point in nobody going to counseling, because as soon as you leave that sofa, you're going back to the same old ways. I'm just trying to sit here and say, can I get an amen? Okay, now that we got that out of the way. The second thing that I noticed about the interview is that, you know, it seemed to me that after watching the whole entire interview on Tamron Hall today, I've come to the conclusion that there's clearly something dark and sinister going on somewhere amiss in the circle. It ain't for us to figure out, but I'm just letting y'all know that something ain't right, something in the milk ain't clean, especially after I went and watched Kerrion's mom, who you can see here, and there's an interview that's on YouTube, and the name of the interview channel is Real Talk Therapy. That's the name of the YouTube channel where the interview is on, that you can go watch, you know, the mom and stuff. But something in the milk ain't clean, okay? Something in the milk ain't clean, because after watching Kerrion's mom, Sean Ewan, you really kind of give me old church mother, you know, front seat pew vibes. I'm going to sit here and be judgy, okay, with that damn, I don't know if it was a wig, whatever the hell you had on your head. Look, it aged you by centuries, honey. I'm just saying, first of all. But the main point I want to drive at is that after listening to her and listening to Kirk, the parallels that I heard in between the two, as far as the discussion was that Kerrion has a real aggressive, strong personality. That's one thing that I know for sure I've heard between all of the people who were a part of these interviews that took place and were posted today all over social media. That's one thing that I know for sure, is that everybody is saying that this person, Kerrion, has a strong personality. Now, the question is that why is the boy so angry? Because he can't call him a man at this point, because I feel like that as a man, you would handle things differently. But clearly there's a boy on the inside of this man hurting, and the boy is hurting for some reason. There's something going on, okay? And the fact that he would sit here and, insinuate of parental abuse by, Kirk, and the fact that Sean Ewing on the interview of the Real Talk Therapy went on and said that, at some point of a time or another, Kerrion came to her stating that, his father was trying to kill him. Now, who said something like that? What kind of allegation is that for a person to see him make? She didn't state as far as what time period that he made this allegation against his father, but she did state verbatim that Kerrion came to her stating that Kirk, was trying to kill him. Now, for a person to sit here and make that statement, that's a mighty strong statement to make. That's a mighty strong statement to make. I'm just saying. And for that statement to be made, and in addition to watching the interview on Tamron Hall and seeing how Kirk tap danced around all of these questions, and you can tell, to me, just the spirit of discernment, that was just something that to me didn't sit well, because it just seemed like it was a thing of, oh, let me sit here and get on this TV show and sit here and give, as far as, something to sit here and make ourselves look good, instead of really getting to the bottom of what it is. Because at this particular point, since you are putting it out there publicly, of course people are going to see and have an opinion now. If you would have just let it go, Kirk, you wouldn't have even said anything. But now that it has been taken to national TV, look, it's just like an ice ball. If you keep seeing him, my grandma said, if you keep seeing him stirring it, it's going to sit here and get messy. And that's exactly what's happening. And for the fact that they went on TV, and the fact that Tamron was asking these questions, and it seemed like that the questions that Tamron was asking, they didn't really sit here and give direct answers. It kind of went back to a thing of, we trying to get him help. I'm going to still see him stand beside him as a father and all of this stuff. But it just really was giving me all the kind of vibes of, we are hiding something, but it ain't y'all business, which is not our business. But since you see him put it on national television, it is making me start to sit here and wonder exactly what has taken place, because both of the parents have not spoken out. And one thing is for certain is that y'all have stated that this child is angry. Okay? That's what y'all treating him, like a child. So this child is angry as a grown man. Somewhere this child is hurting inside. And what is causing the pain? What is the core root? Okay, is it childhood trauma? Did Kirk do something to him, allegedly? Look, I don't know. Like I said, it ain't for us to sit here and figure it out. But if it comes out, what happens in the dark always comes to the light. And that's all I got to sit here and say about it. I just think that they should have not went on national television with it. And I just feel like they should all just sit here and let it go. But if there is something dark to sit here and come out of it, oh, it's going to come out. Believe that. Nonetheless, y'all leave it in the comments and tell me what y'all thought about the interview. Because the one thing that I have a problem with is that people always want to say that the parent is always right. Is the parent always right if there are certain things that the parent has done to cause the child to be, or cause the grown adult, as far as to be the way the person is as an adult? Is the parent always right? Okay? Is the parent always right? And the other thing that I noticed that Kirk mentioned on the Tamron Hall interview, he said that, his main issue is that Kerrion did not respect him as the father figure. It was almost like he was being treated as an equal. But at the end of the day, I'm still your father, and you gonna respect me. And it seems like that's where the issue came in at. So for the issue to sit in and come into there, that tells me one of two things. It tells me that clearly something happened to where Kirk felt disrespected. Or either two, there's a thing of where, okay, let's just say if Kirk was beating on him as a teenager, or, giving him an old-fashioned church folks gospel punishment like they used to do in the old days, where they sit here and beat you silly, okay, with a switch or whatever the case. Maybe he slapped them across the face a couple of times. I don't know. Whatever the case is, it seems like that something is going on. People like this, such as Kerrion, when you see people act out like that, there's something going on the inner side. It's much deeper than what we're all seeing. See, we're all just seeing a conversation of where there's cussing taking place. But it goes so much further past than cussing. It's starting to sit here and get into the realm of there's something going on, and somebody alone at some particular point really had something done traumatizing to them. And as a result, this is the outcome. So y'all leave it in the comment and tell me what you see here and think, because the interview, I thought that it was going to, give me closure, since they decided to stay and go on Tamron Hall and talk about it. But it just only sit here and make me wonder and ponder now. Nonetheless, y'all leave it in the comments. Let me know what you see here and think. Until next time, my fun sizers. Peace.